VK Sharma joins us, represents HDFC Securities. VK, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, VK, there is no mystery in why globally things are, back to risk-off mode. My question is not why Indian markets or global markets are underperforming. My question is that what are you advising your clients to take advantage of this volatile environment?
Yes, I think most of the, if you get into large caps at this point of time, you have that overhang of institutional sales. Somebody might get, let's say, pissed off with what's happening in Europe and might wanted to sell his portfolio here in India. So even in large caps, it is not a great shelter. So if you were to pick up stocks where there is a good amount of traction and where there is a good amount of visibility in terms of revenue coming up. So whether they are mid cap or large caps, I think money needs to be allocated from that perspective. So if you were to look at a stock like Ipca, which has capacity coming up in Indore, which will mean that exports will again ramp up. So you can look at companies like this, or a company like paper products, or you buy, if you want to buy the international market, buy where there is weakness. For instance, crude is coming down, so why not add cane at this point of time? And tomorrow, if crude was to resume its another northbound journey, then this will act as a good support in terms of a good hedge against all other portfolio. So these are among the large caps and small caps. These are some of the picks that we have.
VK, when we started the year, the chorus on the street was sell consumer names, buy rate sensitives, commodities will correct, Reserve Bank of India will cut rates, and rate sensitives could resume their rally. But the reverse is panning out.
I think the answer will have to be slightly long. You'll have to give me time. The entire January-February rally was built upon one single premise, that Congress would do slightly better than in the UP than it what did last time, and Samajwadi Party would need the help of Congress to form a government in UP, and which in turn Congress will use to carry out all the reforms which its current allies are not allowing it to happen. So that was the rally in which the FIs bought, the Indian consumers bought. And when actually Samajwadi Party came out with a good amount of majority on its own, it didn't need the apron strings of the Congress to help. So from that perspective, the entire the ability of the government to reform went out of the window. So this is the premise in which the positions were built, and now they are being unwound. The government is not in a mood to make any kind of reforms. So all in all, I think even assuming that the government doesn't move up, the Nifty was at a 5,600. The rupee has depreciated from those levels in Feb. The crude has come down, and in terms of market also has come down to sub 5,000 levels. So it will give another 200 points to the Nifty on the downside, and suddenly it will become attractive to all the foreign investors on its own. So you have the reasons why it came down, and another 200 points why it became attractive again.
VK, why is ITC outperforming? Lack of options, or markets genuinely feel that this company has some more room to surprise everyone on the upside?
I think the concerns on the excise duty hike have been laid aside, and that was responsible for the kind of slide that we saw in case of ITC, and it remains a small storm shelter and better than the other players in the sector, because the largest segment in which it operates, tobacco, it has the ability to price its products and without any fear of reduction in demand. I think that is what makes ITC a better storm shelter in these times. However, one need not go overboard in that, and one needs to book timely profits here. So even a 5-7% rise that you see, it is possible to see the stock 10% down in the coming few weeks. So I think one has to remain nimble-footed in terms of taking profits or remaining invested in ITC.
Of course, the trigger for ITC in the near term has been the removal of ad valorem component of excise duties on cigarettes, which is a structural positive on a long-term basis, which is why you've been seeing a good traction build up on the stock. Almost a 6% gain coming in an otherwise weak market. Some other names which actually reacted to their earnings. PNB, wherein their concerns on asset quality continue to persist. The stock fell pretty hard in trade yesterday. And of course, you had ABB as well, wherein there is another weak quarter of PAT, which stood at 47 crore rupees or so. VK, your thoughts on how much more upside can we see from Ranbaxy and ABB, BHEL, L&T and the likes, and how much more pressure could these names see in the next few quarters?
I think Ranbaxy was quite a surprise. Profits have been pretty good, but that was largely because of the fact that you had one full quarter of Lipitor, and mind you, that period ends on 31st of this month. So even the current quarter will not be the full. The last quarter was the only quarter which was full. From that perspective, I think the profits are not going to grow at the same rate. However, the fact that they have got over with the problems with the US FDA and got some plants working, I think this augurs well. And there are chances that you could still see some more action from the Japanese promoters. Barring that, I think there is some upside still left in case of Ranbaxy, and will remain invested.
Because there merit in buying banking stocks at these levels, because global commodity prices have corrected, which means inflation fears will subside. A. B. Most of the banking stocks are now trading at price to book of 1.2 times or even 1.3 times.
I think the investors in bank stocks have to remain long term, and they have to ride the full economic cycle. Let me take you back to the year 2003 and 2009, where we had two interest rate cycles in which the markets did not make a bottom till about the fourth or the fifth interest rate cut had happened, both in 2003 and 2009. Whereas in this time, the markets are run ahead of any interest rate cut, and in fact, after the interest rate cut, the Bank Nifty has fallen 9%, or maybe yesterday some more, and the Nifty has fallen more than 6%. So it has even beaten the broader Nifty. So I think between the two, if you were to choose that, if you want to remain invested and you're a long-term investor, I think investing in banks is a better proposition now, because going forward, I think if you have a 2-year horizon, banking will outperform the broader market.
VK, do you track Arvind Mills at 77? Does it make sense to be a contra buyer in Arvind Mills?
See, I was an employee with that group. I was unemployed with that group, so that's a disclosure. But the fact is that the group is forward-looking, and as I heard the management, it was quite forthright in the sense that the coming quarter is no, let's say, what to expect, because cotton has been, the prices have been high, and in the next quarter, I think those things may not be there. But I think I don't follow it fundamentally. We don't have coverage, but I do believe that their real estate business will unlock value, but that is over the longer term. I have no immediate views on the stock.